What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. I hope everybody's having a great day. Folks, we're going to get into a photo that's been circulating around on social media and other pages, right? I found this on space.com. The question is, did Perseverance take photos of a rainbow on Mars? Now, I think it's pretty interesting. When you see this, you can't help but to say, yes, it is one. Now, let's get into the article. I want to show you this, and then we're going to get into some really interesting things on the ground that don't look natural. And one thing really eluded me, and I wasn't even sure what it was until I went, whoa. I just kind of sat back and I looked at it and said, wow, that's interesting. And clearly, and I think you folks will agree, that this is not natural at all. Some things look natural when you first look at the normal picture, and then you start to burn around these objects or these so-called rocks, and they're not what they seem. Let's just get right into it. All right, you can see this right here. This is space.com, and it says, no, the Perseverance rover didn't spot a rainbow on Mars. Now, I'm not going to read the whole article to you folks, but I will go down to here. Many have asked, is that a rainbow on Mars? No, rainbows aren't possible here. Rainbows are created by light reflected off of round water droplets. But there isn't enough water here to condense. It's too cold for liquid water in the atmosphere. This arc is a lens flare, agency officials Tuesday via Perseverance's official Twitter account at NASA Persevere. Now, I flag BS because that planet does definitely get warm enough for water droplets. And it's been known to rain a little bit on Mars as well as have a water cycle in different parts. So I flag BS when it comes to that part. Now, you folks can go up here. You can see the photo. Now, I don't know about you, but I can see the colors already. I can see blues. I can see like yellows and like an orangey kind of thing going on, right? Now, all you got to do is up on this top right, click on that. And all you got to do is right click on your mouse or pad, whatever you got on, and just say save image as, and save it to your folder and desktop, whatever it may be, right? Now, like I said, we're going to go over this right here, and then we're going to look at some really odd things on the ground. Although they may look like rocks now, wait until we break it down. Let's just get right into that. All right, you can see it right here. Now, I have rotated this 21 degrees clockwise, so you folks can actually see it a little bit better. You don't have to tilt your head to see the photo. Now, I'm going to show you what Photoshop, or how Photoshop sees this photo. We can auto-tone. And folks, right off the bat, I can see this a lot better. Auto contrast and auto color. Now, more of a bluer sky, I can see more of a rainbow. Now, anytime I've seen any kind of lens flare, it looked like a splash kind of thing, like just white going onto the lens. I have never seen it like this, okay? Now, let me show you how I've done it, and I did it manually instead of doing the auto, and this is what I come up with, okay? Now, I believe I made it a little bit darker. There we go. All right, so now let's get into these so-called rocks, and let's see what we can make out of these, okay? From left to right, we'll start off. And a lot of things do, in fact, just look like rocks, and I would agree, okay? There are some things that are questionable, like this right here. You can see this little rock, okay? We've got this rock right here, which I find really interesting, right there. If you move into this, you can see what looks like this weird design, and I'm going to see if I can do this slowly. Okay, goes up like this, goes over to this area, comes back around. This part here wraps around the top here, like there's another part. And if you look at this piece right here, almost like this ball type thing, which has this darker circle on it. You can see that. And it comes down over to here. Okay. Again, right there. Now I'm going to show you the object that kind of eluded me, and that's right here. Now you're going to say, I don't see a thing there. I don't know what you're talking about. You will in a moment, because you can just see it faintly right here. You can start to see the very top of this thing where it's doing this. Coming up, kind of on a slant, goes across, and then back down. Very, very faint. That's just the beginning of it. Okay? Slide it over. We've got this so-called rock right here. This thing is really weird. I'm not sure what the deal is with this thing, but right here, I found that's pretty interesting. You folks see that right there? I'm not even sure what to make of that. It's almost like this, like they try to put these black areas right here. There's like a tube right here. And they try to put these black areas, but it looks like you can see it's going like this here. It's going up through here. Folks see that? And then they just put this black areas right here, right there. And right on this side, you can see that doing that as well. Okay? I'm not sure, folks, why they did that like that. Check this rock out. Notice the shape of this rock. You can see it going up like this, down, the back side of it going like this, up, coming like this, and you can just see it stops right there, and you can see where they filled it right here, this brown wannabe sand right here. Okay? See that? Again, they do their best to hide details. This thing, I'm not even sure what to make of this, because you can see what looks like a small arch right here in the very bottom of it, right about here. See that? Okay, so let's get into this a little bit more. Okay, a little bit darker. Bringing it out a little bit better. And we start to get into this photo. Now, folks, check this out. Here's that object I told you about. Again, I'm not sure what to make of this. Right here. See that? This little item right here. And you don't see this until you start to get into this photo. Notice this weird triangular piece right here. You see it coming out, kind of like a smooth front end, and comes back down. Folks, see that? Right there. Okay. Here's that area again. You'll start to see the lines more and more as we bring this out. This piece again right here. This one to the right and just slightly above. And this funky looking rock here on the very right. Okay, so let's back this out. Keep going with it. Now this is where we start to get in this weird anomaly. Right here. Starting to see the lines come out. Right there. Okay, now check this out. I'm not sure what to make of this thing at all. Now we can see this going like this. Coming up a little bit. You can see this straight piece going back into it. Like this. On the very top of this, it appears to be going up at an angle on the left. Come straight over, back down. And then we can see it going down like this and like this. If you look at the top of it, you can actually see it's doing this. Notice the darker line here on the bottom. Very faint, but it's there. And you got this piece right here. Check that out. Now, I didn't see this at first, but notice you can see it now. It's like you can't unsee this thing. See it? Back out. I'm going to go back and forth from step 4 to step 5. The lines are in fact there, folks. Look at them carefully. I'm going to bring it in a hair bit more so you can see this a little closer. And check this out. Notice the lines, they are there. We're just darkening the outlines of this thing. Now we're going to go to full enhancement. Now here's another thing that's pretty odd. When you see the ground, especially in the foreground, notice this right here. Put it right here in the middle of the screen. What is going on here? Because this is not a flat rock like they want you to believe it is right here. Because look at the actual shapes under here. Now, I'm not saying that they're anything of any value. What I'm saying is it's almost like they did everything they could to like color this in. You can see like different sections they have done this. See right here? Another one right here. Coming up and over. Underneath this. Okay. I believe this thing is thicker. This white piece right here on the top. See that? Let's have a look at that. Check it out. You can actually still see the lines here, folks. Very faintly, but they're there. Here. Here. I mean, there's just, you can see what they've drawn to actually hide these objects. You can see that. Okay? Different pieces, like over here to the left. This is not normal. Something's hidden in here, and they're trying to do everything they can to take it out. They're very crafty. Again, bring up the lines. See it right there. Now let's go back to the original. The lines are still there, folks. They're there. Again, let's bring them out. Okay? That's really saturated here, so we brought it back a little bit. Okay. Now let's go back and check out some other objects. If you go into this photo, right here on the left, you can see this object doing this here. Okay? We have what looks like an L-shaped object right here. To the right of it and slightly down. You can see that. Folks, just some of the weird stuff in this photo. My God. I mean, you can just see they've really done their best to hide whatever these objects are. Therefore, it just looks like a bunch of mumbo jumbo, but it is, in fact, in the photo. Now, what we can make out of it's a whole different ball game, right? Here. These two anomalies right here. Got this one right here. And we have this bigger piece here. Right here. Now, folks, I can't even begin to tell you what these things are. However, we do know the difference between natural and non-natural. Okay, let's move it along to the right. See what else we can find in here. Again, I'm not sure what to make of this wannabe rock right here. We'll go a little further. This one here. This one I told you the shape of this one's really kind of weird. The one to the right and up a little bit here. Again, it looks like they put these two black marks on something that looks like could be a white pipe of some sort. Goes up, through it, and back over. And it looks like they kind of just put these black pieces in there to hide that whole object, because it appears that there's something else right here. I'll get rid of those lines. There's something like roundish right here on this side, or something with a small hole in it. But either way you look at it, that is not natural. And of course, this wannabe funky rock here on the side, right here. But folks, even if there's only a few things in a photo, the fact of the matter is that these things don't look like they belong there at all. So I think that's pretty cool, just some of the stuff you can find in here. This, again, almost totally eluded me. And you can see that. All right, again, we'll back out. You can see this is really saturated out. We'll go back. Again. Back out of it. As we slowly back out, watch the lines disappear, but they're not entirely gone. They're still there. That's the original. And again, we're going to keep an eye on this main area right here. Watch as the lines start to pop. Starting to come in. See it? It's going to go back and forth rapidly. You can see that. Keep going. So I enhanced it. Try to bring out more of the lines. See it? You can see the darker areas. I'm just making them a little bit darker so we can actually bring out the shape of this said object. Right there. Okay? And again, we do have this other piece. Right there. I don't know what to make of this stuff, folks. But I do know, like I said, the difference between natural and non-natural. And it's almost like they put this here, or it's in fact in the photo, to get your eyes off of it. And again, this is the original, if you look at this. And when you look at this thing, you just say, wow, you know, what's the deal here? I can see the colors, folks, without doing anything to this photo. Now, if we were to look at where the sun may be, it looks like it's coming from the right, because you can see some shadowing just under some of these wannabe rocks, like this one here. A shadow here. They seem to be on the left-hand side of these rocks or these objects. I would question why they think this is a lens flare, okay? Now, I'm not saying it's completely out of the question. But what I am saying is it doesn't look like it's a lens flare. It looks more like a rainbow. And it does not surprise me because there are water cycles on Mars. Again, look at the sky. We got blue sky, not reddish. And if anybody's wondering what this thing is, I know a lot of you folks will ask me this, is this little speck here on the screen. I'm not sure what to make of that. I'm going to zoom in a lot right now and see what we can make out of that. Now, it does appear to have a motion blur right here behind it. Very slight. You can see it. Okay? So this object appears to be moving in this direction. Now, what is it? Okay? Is it nothing more than a speck on the camera, or is it something flying? Now, I have seen many photos that look like there are things flying. Like we noticed that much larger thing flying around the Ingenuity helicopter. Now, they claim it's nothing more than a speck of dust, maybe a micron of dust, when clearly it is not, because it's above the actual helicopter. My argument for that is, if that's the case, if these opposing blades on this Ingenuity helicopter are really turning that fast, it's anywhere between 24 and 2800 RPMs, you should see a lot more of the sand flying in the air, whether it be microscopic or whatever it may be. You should see a lot more of it, and you only see the one, and you can tell it's above the helicopter going in and out of the frame. So something flying there does not surprise me in any way, shape, or form, okay? So, yeah. Again, we have a lot of things in this photo, folks, but they did their best to try to hide it. I'm going to just back out of this. Most of the interesting stuff is right here in the middle of the photo. Pretty cool stuff with our rainbow here at the top. Right there. Folks, pause it right here. Have a closer look with your eyepieces, magnifiers, whichever it may be. And there you go. Now, folks, when I saw this photo, without doing a thing to it, I showed you the original, and you can literally see the colors faintly in this wannabe lens flare. I personally believe, in my opinion, it's a rainbow. Again, they do have a water cycle on there. It has rained there before. They've actually had ice crystals come down, like a sleet type thing. And it does get warm on the planet. So it does get warm. You have evaporation. You have clouds. You get enough moisture in these clouds, it will precipitate. It's as simple as that. So I believe 100%, at least again in my opinion, that's a rainbow. Now the other things on the ground, the one major thing that eluded me, and I did not see it right away until I really started to enhance this thing, popped out. This is intelligently made. Again, that's my opinion. And folks, you can drop your comments and your opinion down below and let me know what you think. Please like and share the video. It is always appreciated. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up so that YouTube shares it. Folks, I got another cool one coming up. Now, folks, when you see the background, and I'm hoping I can make it big enough for you folks to see this, there's literally parts, what look like mechanic parts, laying on these little hills in the background. And they're as plain as day. That's what's crazy. This come out of a video from NASA and JPL. And when you see it, you're going to, oh my God, that really seals it for me. You can see parts, literally these long rectangular pieces look like framework or something. I don't know if it's a fascia of something or whatever it may be, but it's right there in the photo. There's two big ones in there, and there's a lot of little pieces in there to boot. And I also believe there's a lot more to be found in these, so we're going to try to do our best. That's going to take a while to do that, but I do have another one coming up. It's also Mars. We're going to be checking that as well. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Always appreciated, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.